Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. So guys, I wanted to do this video. It was a request of one of my subscribers, Anumia. I wanted to do the Dillian Whyte and Povetkin breakdown of how I think that fight goes. I want to give a shout out to another subscriber, Ahmed, who wants me to do a video breakdown of a fantasy fight in Canelo Froch. I will try to upload that tomorrow or Tuesday. Bear with me because I do get a lot of requests to do videos of a particular a fantasy fight or a particular fight breakdown of a current fight coming. So just bear with me. I will get it out to you. It's just I have a lot of requests of a lot of videos, so I will get it done. Don't worry, I will get it done. I'll probably upload it tomorrow. I'll probably record it tonight and upload it tomorrow. But I want to get this video done first because Anumi requested this a couple of days ago. So yeah, let's get on to it. Dillian Whyte, Alexander Povetkin. Obviously, it's been announced that it's been postponed and it's been scheduled for a later date now, 27th March in Gibraltar. It got announced. This got announced yesterday. There were rumors that this was going to happen, so I'm not by any means shocked or surprised by this news. This fight keeps getting delayed and keeps getting pushed back. We're living in uncertain times right now. We're living in times where, fights, there's not a certainty because of the situation, the crisis that we're currently in worldwide. You just don't know what's happening. So fights are getting postponed, they're getting pushed back. And I actually think this is a very, very tough fight for Dillian Whyte. I know people are comparing this to Ruiz and Joshua. It's a bit different. Dillian Whyte got taken out with a punch. He never got beat up. He was actually doing very well in the fight. However, I do think because of the commentary, I do think Povetkin's work was not being highlighted. Povetkin was doing a lot of good body work in the fight, and Povetkin was doing good things. But I feel like even yesterday, if you look at the fight with Josh Kelly and Avanesian, I feel like the British commentators, they don't always highlight the away fighters, what the away fighters doing. They always seem to overhype and highlight the British fighter a lot more. And listen, it's natural. You're going to be biased towards your own. Generally, in their commentary at times can be a bit biased. They never seem to look at what the away fighter is doing and what strengths and what he's bringing to the table. It's always kind of like bigging up the home fighter. Maybe it's an I don't know. Listen, I can't speak, but maybe it's just an instinctive thing when you're supporting a fighter. It's just one of those things, man. But I don't think Matthew Macklin's a very knowledgeable guy. Adam Smith has been around the sport a very long time. He's knowledgeable and he doesn't seem like a bias. They don't seem biased. They seem like fair type guys. Maybe it's just sometimes it looks like that to us because we're looking at it a lot. We're looking into it a lot more than we should. But in terms of the Povetkin-Dillian Whyte fight, I think this is going to be very hard for Dillian Whyte because he has to get over the mental demons. He's been knocked out. And one thing I have seen with Dillian Whyte is after the Anthony Joshua knockout, his punch resistance never has seemed the same. He's always looked a bit shaky and susceptible to me. If you look at some of the other fights, like I remember he was getting wobbled to Whack and Hellenius. Those guys were hitting, or Hellenius wobbled him. I remember Rivas put him down. Parker hurt him. Dillian Whyte's punch, when I saw Dillian Whyte against Anthony Joshua, I was like, this guy's got a granite chin, man. This guy's taking punishment after punishment. But I do think that fight took a lot away from him, then the way he got brutally knocked out. Because one thing I've noticed, when a fighter gets brutally knocked out, their punch resistance never seems to be the same. Their punch resistance gets worse when a fighter is brutally knocked out. He starts looking a lot more vulnerable. And for me, I think Dillian Whyte's going to have to not just come over a lot of physical pressure from Povetkin. I think he's going to have to come over a lot of mental pressure. I will say that Povetkin is on his last legs. He didn't look great against Dillian Whyte, even though, like I said, he was doing some good work in there. He didn't look great, if I'm totally honest with you. Povetkin didn't look great in his fight against Hughie Fury. He didn't look great in his fight against Michael Hunter. Povetkin is on the slide. But what Povetkin has got is a huge, huge punch. His uppercuts, his hooks, his left hook, it's lethal. It's lethal. And with someone as vulnerable as Dillian Whyte is right now, from what I've seen in his career, Dillian Whyte's never been in the ring with as big a puncher as Povetkin. And last time he's when he fought Joshua and he got knocked out brutally. So for me, this is a very, very risky fight for Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte is still quite raw. Dillian Whyte still makes a lot of mistakes. Dillian Whyte isn't as good a boxer or isn't as good a fighter as Alexander Povetkin. Povetkin's more skilled. He puts his punches together a lot better. He sets his punches up a lot better. Even though Dillian Whyte's improving, I feel like Dillian Whyte lacks that killer instinct. I feel like Dillian Whyte gets people hurt, but he doesn't go for the kill. He doesn't go for the kill. Like, I've never seen Dillian Whyte destroy somebody like her. Like, yeah, he knocked Chisora out with a punch. He knocked Lucas Brown out with a punch. Yeah, he's got power. But when he hurts somebody, I feel like he doesn't go in. He doesn't go in and I feel like when he's got someone hurt, he doesn't know how to put his punches together that well to get him out of there. And I felt like that against Povetkin, where he had Povetkin hurt a couple of times and he didn't just jump in. Like, he didn't jump in to finish the job. I don't know whether he just hasn't got that killer instinct where he can kill the guy off, or he knows how to put the punches together like an AJ. See, when AJ gets a guy hurt, look at the way he goes in. Even Wilder, even though Wilder's wild, but look at the way they go in when they've got someone hurt. Dillian Whyte, to me, I don't know whether he's a great finisher, whether he can, when he gets someone hurt, whether he can finish. And against someone like Alexander Povetkin, you can't allow him to get back in the fight. Because if he gets back into the fight, you know he's got that big punch that can render you unconscious. And that's what he basically did. Dillian Whyte was on top in that fight. He was on top. But for me, Whyte couldn't finish the job. And he ended up getting caught himself. And that's why this is such a dangerous fight. With the vulnerability that Dillian Whyte has and the power that Alexander Povetkin has, this is always going to be a dangerous fight because Povetkin hits very, very hard. Povetkin's a big, big puncher, right? And that big, big punch is always going to be there. And someone that's as vulnerable as Dillian Whyte, and listen, not even if someone wasn't as vulnerable as Dillian Whyte, was defensively better than Dillian Whyte, someone like Alexander Povetkin could put you to sleep. He's that powerful. He's got a huge punch. He hurt AJ a lot of time when he fought him. He hurt him in the fight. You could see he was wobbled when he got caught with uppercuts. Early on in that fight. You know, early on in that fight when Povetkin fought AJ, I thought, wow, you know, Povetkin could win this. And then AJ kind of neutralized him and tired him out and then took him out. But let's be honest. I've got to be honest. I thought Povetkin looked in that fight. You know, I thought Povetkin could beat him. Especially first couple of rounds. It looked very risky for Joshua. So, for me, Joshua's a better boxer than Dillian Whyte. Joshua is very, very technically a lot better. And he's a lot taller than Povetkin. And he used that to his advantage. Whereas I don't know whether Dillian Whyte... It's going to be very difficult for Dillian Whyte, this fight. If I'm honest with you, I hope he can pull it off out because I think it's good for British boxing. All of the British fighters seem to be losing right now. And we don't need another loss because if Dillian Whyte wins, then he goes and pushes on and pushes for a world title. If he loses, it's a long way back for Dillian Whyte because then he goes into the domestic mix. And I don't know, with someone that's earned as much money as Dillian Whyte is going to have the hunger and desire to come back. Maybe. He's a fighting man. So probably if it was Anthony Joshua, he may retire because Anthony Joshua, I feel, has made a lot of money. And I don't think Anthony Joshua has the hunger. I think Dillian Whyte's just a fighter through and through. He just loves fighting. He loves to do it. He just loves to fight. So I think with Dillian Whyte, although it's definitely not going to be, he's not going to be getting paid the same money if he loses. I just think Dillian Whyte loves fighting so much that I think he would still fight on and he'd still look to get back to the top because he loves the fight game. And I think just any kind of money, the fact that he's getting paid to fight is just a bonus. I think he's that type of fighter. He loves to fight. Whereas I don't know whether AJ loves to fight. I think he's doing it because it's a job and he wants to be great. But I think Dillian Whyte's just, you know, that guy that loves fighting. He's just a proper fighter. And like I said, Dillian Whyte's one of the most improved British fighters, and he was boxing so well against Povetkin. So close to his world title shot. And he probably would have got that fight in December against Fury. If Whyte had beat Povetkin, he probably would have got his shot in December. And he ended up taking that L, and that just scuppered all the plans. It just messed up everything for Dillian Whyte. But trust me, man, Dillian Whyte, is going to bring it, man. Dillian Whyte's going to bring it. Now, I don't know whether that's going to be enough. I think he could get knocked out again. It won't shock me in the slightest if Povetkin knocks him out again. To be honest, if I was edging towards, I would probably edge towards Povetkin. However, I do think Dillian Whyte can beat him. I think Povetkin's chin isn't that great anymore. I think Povetkin's also very vulnerable. I think Dillian Whyte's got power. Dillian Whyte dropped him twice. Povetkin gets tired very quickly. What Dillian Whyte's got to be careful is that big punch. If that big punch lands, Dillian Whyte's getting put away again. Even if it might not even have to be such a huge punch like it was last time. You know, Dillian Whyte could get hurt. If Povetkin lands a big shot on Whyte, it could be curtains, because I'm definitely intrigued to see how Dillian Whyte is going to come back, because I'm more intrigued to see how his punch resistance will be, because after the Joshua knockout, his punch resistance seemed shaky to me. I want to see how he comes back. And now he's going back straight into the firing line after, you know, losing to Povetkin. He's fighting him again. You know, so just like he lost to Joshua, he didn't fight Joshua again. Joshua moved on. But Dillian Whyte's now fighting Povetkin again. That's a dangerous fight. Especially Povetkin now is always going to know, even if he's behind in the fight, Povetkin's going to know, I can ice this guy at any point in the fight. So Povetkin's going to be motivated until he can continue to fight. Povetkin's going to be motivated to the last second, because he knows he could iron Dillian Whyte out with a punch. So as long as Povetkin can stand, he's going to feel he's in the fight. He's going to feel that he can win the fight, because he knows even last time when he was up against it, when it looked like he was going to lose and get blown away, he knocked Dillian Whyte cold. So he knows that he's going to be in that fight, regardless of the situation, regardless of what's happening in the fight. He knows he can take Dillian Whyte out. So, like I said, Dillian Whyte's going to have to be focused for every second of every round. And I don't know whether Dillian Whyte has the boxing ability and the discipline to do that. And not just that, the fact that coupled with the fact that Alexander Povetkin is technically so good and he puts his punches together so well, it's a tough fight for Dillian Whyte. It is a tough fight. Coming off after a loss, like he did in the first, and then coming back and fighting this guy again, especially someone as skilled as Alexander Povetkin, as big a puncher as Alexander Povetkin. It's very dangerous, man. Coming in, being knocked out like that, and then fighting a puncher again, or fighting the same guy that knocked you out, who's a big puncher. See, it's not like you got caught with a punch, but the guy that you were fighting wasn't really a big puncher. He just caught you with a big punch. How many guys has Povetkin iced like that throughout his career? So many. So Dillian Whyte is jumping into the firing line. He's jumping into the ring with a guy that just knocked him cold in the last fight, right? He's technically very good, and he's a big puncher. So now you're jumping back in the ring with a big puncher after being knocked out. Jumping in with a ring with a guy that you fought, but he's a big puncher. That's the problem. He's a big puncher. And when you've been knocked out like that, jumping into the ring with a big puncher is very dangerous. Irrespective of if he was doing well, if he was dominating the fight, that's irrelevant. The fact is the fight ended the way it ended, and that's going to be in Dillian Whyte's mind. You know, he's going to know that this guy can take him out. And other guys have wobbled and hurt Dillian Whyte in the past, you know, after the Joshua defeat. But this guy just didn't hurt him. He just wiped him out, and that's going to be it's going to be hard for Dillian Whyte. But I do feel Dillian Whyte can do it. I do feel Dillian Whyte can come back and win this and pull this off and then move on. But it's a proper 50-50. And you probably have to slight edge towards Povetkin, because, like I said, I think it's going to be tough. I think it's not going to be easy. But I hope Dillian Whyte can get the win, and I think he's capable of getting the win. He's got the power. Hopefully he hits Povetkin with a left hook that wipes him out. But it's going to be tough. If I'm honest with you, I would be picking Alexander Povetkin again. And I hope I'm wrong, by the way. But I've just got to be honest about how I feel the fight will go. I just feel that I think Povetkin, coming off that win and the way Dillian Whyte got knocked out, I think it's the smart bet would be on Povetkin. But Dillian Whyte's a good fighter. He's proven it. He's beaten some good names. I'm pretty sure he can come back and pull it off. But leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. What do you guys think? And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. See you guys in the next video.